No experience is fully realized without the use of sound. In fact, I'm so obsessed with sound that I spent 4 years studying it at college. Yes, that's right, my friends. It's Codiak here, back to talk about Hytale. So sit back, slap on some headphones, and let's talk about the sounds of Orbis. Sounds play a pivotal role in shaping a player's experience in a video game. Between the flashy combat, gorgeous scenery, and magnificent buildings, it's often the last thing players notice when they're in the middle of a game. But take away the sound, and it's the first thing they'll point out. As a sound designer myself, I can speak with a little bit of authority on the issue, and whether it be video games, movies, or commercials, a sound designer's job never changes. At its core, designing sounds means working off a visual, such as a piece of artwork or character sketch. In this week's Hytale blog post, designer Kieran Fitzpatrick shows us some of the magic that goes into creating the sounds of creatures throughout Hytale. Now, it's easy to ignore how much time and effort goes into creating sound effects, but designers take pride in creating a unique sound that helps players experience whatever it is they're engaging with. I'm sure many of you will recognize this iconic sound, even if you never picked up on the fact that it's been used in countless movies over the decades. Now, the Wilhelm scream is as basic as it comes: a microphone, a guy in a room, and a scream. But over the years, as technology got better, designers had more tools and sounds at their disposal. For instance, let's take a look at the fence stalker in Hytale. What we hear is one sound, but in fact, Fitzpatrick actually combines 8 sounds to create the fence stalker sound we are hearing. To create this effect, he combines animal noises like that of a parrot and zebra with elements of his own voice, recorded and affected to create an unnatural timbre. Layering the sounds and adjusting various parameters like volume and pitch is called mixing. I'd like to tell you it's as easy as slapping some sound effects on a timeline and calling it a day, but sound designers agonize for days on end over simple sounds because it's that important to the immersion. Designers spend years building up libraries of sound effects that they can use to create that experience. Companies like Boom Library and Blastwave FX have made their living creating sounds and packaging them together for designers to use. When you don't have the sound effect or can't afford to buy it, you have no choice but to make it yourself in a process called Foley. I bet you'd be shocked to learn that the sound of a breaking bone usually incorporates some sort of celery, or that in fact the sound of a lightsaber was created by accident when designer Ben Burt was walking behind an old tube television with a microphone. Sound is all about experience. There are rarely any rules, just that you need to make the player or viewer believe what they're hearing works with what they're seeing. Of course, this is Hytale we're talking about, and these guys are always thinking about the player, so you'll be excited to learn that players will be able to swap audio without ever having to quit the game. You'll be able to change files, alter parameters like volume and pitch, as well as loop sounds and limit the number of times sounds play. This control is aimed for those of you looking to create your own audio when developing mods, and as always, the Hytale team is looking to give that power right to the player. If you do plan on creating mods and you're interested in sound, start building up that library now. There are a ton of free resources, and nowadays with modern technology, you don't even need to spend a lot of money to capture high fidelity audio. You can capture them right through the microphone on your cell phone. I thought we'd take a few extra minutes to talk about the sounds of other creatures not mentioned in the blog post. And I wanted to start with something we're all familiar with: the bear. Of course, we all know what a bear sounds like. They grumble, growl, groan, and of course roar. Bears are large creatures, which means they'll most likely have a large sound. But in the scope of Hytale, they're not that big. Other creatures like the Yeti and Void Dragon are massive in comparison, which means the designer has to take that into consideration when creating a creature's sound. Real creatures are pretty easy since there is already an established baseline for their sound. But what about something like the Scarix in Zone 2? Historically, the sounds of bugs are often designed to leave the player feeling uncomfortable. Angular, repetitive ticking or clicks can be used to simulate the sounds of their feet scurrying across a surface or their pincers snapping together. Designers may also combine elements of high-pitched shrieking or screeching to create a sense of hostility. Finally, I wanted to end with the twerks, which in my opinion are going to be tough to design because they straddle the line between intelligent life and non-intelligent life. Now, we don't know if creatures and characters will be fully voice acted, nor do we even know if twerks can talk. If they can't, Fitzpatrick is going to have a tough time keeping the creatures from being too hokey, make them sound too comical, and they'll come off as doofs, but go the other way and make them sound menacing, and you'll end up with something from Lord of the Rings. It's a fine line, and I don't envy the designers that have to find the balance. If you are interested in sound and ever need any help or are looking for some sounds to help bring your vision to life, be sure to let me know in the comments section below or reach out to me on Discord. I'm always happy to help a budding sound designer bring their vision to life because I truly believe that sound is an important part of the gaming experience. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at the Game Gurus, thanks for watching and play on.